Competition. Some of us embrace it, others ignore it, but all of us have it. As a startup, you're contributing to the age-old wave of innovation, a mostly positive-sum game where competition inspires improvement and improvement inspires progress. But when selling your concept to investors, addressing competition may be scary. And that's why so many people get this section wrong in their pitch decks. I'm going to show you the common problems that we see when addressing competition in pitch decks, a few examples of the good and the bad, and a few tactical ways to crush that competition section in your pitch deck. Let's go. The three most common mistakes that we see when addressing your competition in pitch decks are as follows. Number one, some people just don't address it altogether. They ignore the fact that there's competition among us. Firstly, this makes it seem like you didn't do your homework, but more likely, it's going to signal to investors that there's not much demand for what you're looking to build. Secondly, many people just list out a few companies that are in their general ballpark and highlight a bunch of features as they compare to their company's features. This puts way too much work on the investor to figure out how you differentiate. And number three, and probably the most popular mistake that we see, is people making too strong or convenient of claims about how they're better than Google, Microsoft, or Netflix at so many different things. The second that you make that extremely convenient or extremely biased claim, you lose credibility, which can hurt the way people interpret the other points that you want to make throughout your pitch deck. However, it's not that hard to think about competition in the right way. So here are the 3 steps we like to think through when addressing competition in your deck. Number 1 is just include it. Don't leave it out. Make sure that you're thinking about it and proving to an investor that you are thinking about the market. Number 2, acknowledge that your competition does a lot of things right, but find that very specific hole that you will build your product to fill and how that serves a specific market segment. If you find that very specific hole or that very specific gap in the way that your competitors are serving the market, you can show how you can build features to capture a totally unserved market, or you can show how you can penetrate an underserved market by your current competition and how you can use that as a wedge to disrupt them in one way or another. Lastly, be careful about making too strong of a claim. It's clear that your competitors are doing certain things right. Show how you can capture something small and grow to something larger. All right, let's jump into a few examples.
First up, we got Venbu. They're an app that helps mom and pop businesses and vendors connect, book, and manage events and expenses. Here, they address some competitors, then highlight a few features that Venbu offers that these major players don't. Inherently, the slide selects the relevant features to them, which runs the risk of coming across as cherry picking and thus doesn't instill a comprehensive perspective on the market. This contrasts with the competition slide of a company here called Rutabaga. They turn customer insights into actionable product workflows to enable product teams to be more data-driven on projects. Here, Rutabaga uses data to provide a comprehensive, data-driven perspective on the market, with the clear highlight being an overwhelming amount of non-purpose-built tools. Then they highlight their differentiators and how that enables them to penetrate this fragmented market. This just feels more objective because they're sizing up the whole market in the pie chart rather than cherry picking specific examples. Next, let's talk about DataRavel. They offer an end-to-end interface for data operations and infrastructure teams. Here, they use the classic market matrix slide to talk about competition. They show how they're positioning themselves as the most programmable product that doesn't require migration, which is an awesome and useful paradigm to set, but it's often a little risky to place yourself to the top rightmost section of a market matrix. It comes across as a little bit biased, and there may be simpler or more objective ways to orient. Like this. Here's a company called SalesTable. They offer a platform to enable mid-market companies to train, upskill, and manage their sales teams. Here, they show 2 sides to the market, making it clear that the common tools on the left, like Excel and Drive, contrast with the Seismics and the MindTickles on the right, requiring the need for something to service the middle. While this concept is quite similar to the market matrix, this positioning comes off less lofty and requires a viewer to do less work to make sense of the positioning. It's always useful to consider simpler ways to position your company against competitors.
Competition is an important component to the game. Show that you understand the market, know your place in it, and address those questions head on. And you'll be one step closer to winning the pitch. Like and subscribe, and stay up to date with Hustle Fund and Deck Doctors for more content about pitch decks and fundraising.